Guys, I've received a couple of DMs from people asking me that can they work with another employer whilst on their skilled worker visa. And it's so sad when you see people send you DMs and say that, oh, I've been in the UK for the past 3 months, but I've not been able to do anything. And then you're like, how did you come into the UK? I'm on a skilled worker route, but the company I currently work for, they don't have shifts for me. I've just been here. And you're like, how are you even paying bills? How are you even surviving? Because the way this country is manufactured or built, you have to work to pay your bills. So there are a lot of people like that, and they really want to find out what will be the implication to their visa if they take up another employment with another employer, and does that employer need to have sponsorship for them? The first thing we are discussing is, can they actually work with another employer while on sponsorship? Then the next thing we are then going to check is, if they can work, how many hours can they do? Then the next thing we'll check after that is, can they do every kind of occupation in the UK, or they have to do some occupation while they cannot do other kind of jobs in the UK? So all of this is what we're going to be discussing today. If this interests you, please do well to stay tuned to the very end. Hi guys, my name is Yeti, and on this channel I share information about thriving abroad, relocating abroad. If anything abroad, you will find it here. So if this interests you, please do well to like this video, and most importantly, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so that when I post next, you get to see it first. So what are we talking about? We're looking at whether those on a skilled worker visa can actually work for another employer while they are in the UK, okay? So yes, they can, and this is called supplementary employment. So I'm going to be reading word for word from gov.uk website for you so that you understand what I'm talking about. Prior to now, skilled worker visa holders are not allowed to take up supplementary employment. But I think that the UK government sees that with their incessant migration and immigration policy changes and all of that, people would they need more hands to be able to serve the economy. They need more people to work. So that is why they've probably lifted this restriction. Now, if you go online, I'm going to provide the link in the description box, or you just Google UK supplementary employment. This is what you find from the Home Office. It states, and I read, in addition to the job specified on a certificate of sponsorship, COS, a skilled worker conditions allow them to do extra work. So now you can do extra work if you're on a skilled worker visa in the UK. So you can work with another employer. But what are the conditions? They listed some conditions, and that is what I'm going to be looking with you today. So they listed some conditions, right? That is what we're looking at in today's video. Let's look at conditions. In an occupation listed in tables 1, 2, or 3 of appendix skilled occupation. So what this means is that before you are able to take up extra work, your occupation must be listed in tables 1, 2, 3 of appendix skilled workers. If your occupation is not listed, then you cannot take the job. What's the other condition? No more than 20 hours a week. So if you're working outside your actual COS, then you can only take 20 hours a week, meaning 80 hours a month. That is 20 hours a week. So you can't do more than 20 hours a week. And also, I need to state this. You can't say that, oh, let me do 40 hours this week, then 40 hours next week. That makes it 80 hours a week, that you want to accumulate 80 hours a month, that you want to accumulate it like that. No, you cannot do that at all. It has to be maximum 20 hours every week. The next condition is that the job you're actually taking must be outside the working hours covered by the COS. What does this mean? So if you have a COS currently and then you are contracted to work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, if you're going to take up any 20 hours extra, it has to be outside this 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. So meaning you can either work from 5:01 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next day, or you probably be working weekend shifts, but you cannot work during the hours in which you're contracted by your current employer, okay? And they went further to say that if the skilled worker is a general practice trainee who is granted permission until 4 months after the end date of their COS, they can do supplementary work during these 4 months, even if they are no longer working for their sponsor. So that's just for those that are GP trainees, right? But the one that is relatable to majority is that in all other cases, the person must remain working for their sponsor in order to be able to do supplementary work. So for you to be able to do supplementary work, guys, you must still remain with the sponsor that has sponsored you to come and work in the United Kingdom. You can't say that, oh, these people are not giving me shit. You're going to discard them while you go on to work for another employer. No. For you to be eligible to take supplementary work, you must ensure that you're still working with the company that has sponsored you to come and work in the United Kingdom. And lastly, guys, a lot of people usually ask that, oh, do I need to inform the Home Office if I'm doing extra 20 hours outside? Let's read this last paragraph. If the extra work meets the above requirement, the applicant does not need to inform the Home Office before taking extra work. So you don't have to inform the Home Office at all. As long as whatever it is you're doing is within all the things that I've listed above, you do not need to inform the Home Office. So I hope this clarifies all your questions that if you're on a skilled worker visa in the United Kingdom, you can actually work extra 20 hours apart from, the work in which you're currently doing in another field entirely. But however, like I said, there is a caveat. You cannot do all kinds of occupations. So let's look at tables 1, 2, and 3 and see the kind of occupation listed that you can take. So guys, if you check the appendix skilled worker operation, table 1, I'm going to leave the description in the comment section below, right? So table 1 starts from page 79. You can see where it says table 1 eligible SOC 2020 occupation codes and related going rates based on median annual survey of hours and earnings data. So if you go down to the next page, that's page 80, you will see occupation code. That means if you want to take up supplementary employment, you can either do chief executive and senior officer, production managers and director. It's a whole long list that I cannot read out. Okay, a lot is on that list. Like, you have lots of occupation on that list. On that same page, just type control. If you're using your laptop, use Control F and type table 2 to find that. You're also going to see table 2 as well as the last table. So you will see tables 1, 2, and 3 of appendix skilled occupation. Just go through it, check it all through. It's a very wide, long list. I cannot go through it, but you can see it on my screen right now. Just take your time. If there's any other additional employment that you want to take, you really need to sit down, take your time, and go through that list to be sure that yes, you're not doing anything illegal, you're not going to be in trouble, you're doing a job that is actually listed on that list. Now, if you go to that same list, I don't know if you can see it, it's showing on my screen right now. Table 6 consists occupation that you cannot do in the UK if you're on a skilled worker visa. You can find table 6 on page 216 of that particular list. So it will tell you that table 6 SOC 2020 occupation code, which are not eligible for the skilled worker, global business mobility, or scale up route. So you cannot do this. Okay, these occupations are ineligible in the skilled worker, global business mobility, or scale up route because they do not meet the required skill level, or applicants must be sponsored in another route for jobs in these occupations, or those subject to immigration control cannot apply for jobs in these occupations. So you see, you cannot become elected officers and representative, or officers in armed forces, or a clergy, or complementary health associate professionals, or non-commissioned officers and other ranks, sports players, and so on and so forth. So these are occupations that you must avoid. And while tables 1, 2, and 3 are the ones that you can actually do. So if you find this video helpful, please do well to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, please put it in the comment section. I'll read them and I'll respond to you. But please ensure that you subscribe, like this video, share, and keep following Yettysplash for more. I hope I've been able to give you value today. Don't forget, again, follow Yettysplash for more. Bye guys.